The year 2014 radically changed Ukraine. The war in the eastern part of the country demonstrated the incredible courage of the Ukrainian people. Every day, the names of heroes are written into the modern history books of Ukraine. This is the story of the revival, formation, and achievements of the armed forces of Ukraine and Ukrainian law enforcement agencies in the special project, Ukraine in Uniform. Maneuvers at sea, on land, and in the air, sailors, pilots, and naval infantrymen of the military naval forces of different countries. Joint exercises, demonstration of various military maneuvers, and different training operations. Everyone understands the language of gestures and commands. A MiG-29 fighter jet suddenly appears above between the clouds. Its speed grips the soul. Two jets fly over the airfield and return to the base. This is a simulation of the procedure for striking ground targets in which pilots of the Naval Air Force of Ukraine perform acrobatic figures. Above the airfield, the aviation component of the Ukrainian-American exercises, known as Breeze-2017, is being held for the 20th time this year. This week we are finishing military coordination exercises according to the training plan. Today you have seen the training of the air component of Breeze-2017. This is conducted in order to see the compatibility of the tactical links between airplanes and helicopters manufactured in different countries. Representatives of many foreign countries monitored the flights. Tate Westbrook, commander of the destroyer squadron of the U.S. Navy, is the leader of the exercises from the American side.
2017 is the largest and most complex in the 20-year history of Sea Breeze. Today's rehearsal of the amphibious landing, as well as this aircraft demonstration, shows we cannot do this alone. Here that the P-8 Poseidon anti-submarine aircraft has ever been used in Ukraine. And though the United States Air Force and all of our other services have special forces, any country's special forces that we have trained with are capable of operating from an Osprey aircraft.
The patrol and anti-submarine Boeing P-8 Poseidon aircraft is designed for maritime patrolling, detection and destruction of surface ships and enemy submarines. Great interest was shown in the world's only commercially available cover-to-plan, which combines the individual advantages of an airplane and a helicopter. This aircraft is in service with the U.S. Marine Corps and the U.S. Navy and is currently taking part in open training sessions for the first time.
The whole reason we're out here is to build interoperability. So it's to give the easy definition, it's the ability to work between two organizations. So not just at a very basic level, it's the Air Force and the Navy, but more specifically for this aspect of it, it's going to be the Ukrainian military and the U.S. military, because there's people do everything differently. So if you every time you practice, you learn something new and you learn how to get to that common ground. So that when I say something, I know that whoever on the Ukrainian side understands what I mean, and vice versa, and then we have a mutual understanding so we can go and execute a mission.
More than 20 different aircraft of the naval forces of Ukraine and the U.S. Navy took part in the aviation component of the international exercises Breeze-2017. In addition to American aircraft, tactical passages were worked out by Ukrainian helicopters Mi-14, Mi-24 and Mi-8, working with advanced aircraft gunners Su-25. There was also a simulation of striking ground targets from complex maneuvers by MiG-29 aircraft, the evacuation of the wounded fighter, on a Ka-27 helicopter and the landing of Marines and the rescue parachute group from an An-2 aircraft. The participants of the Ukrainian-American training exercises noted that all the tasks at sea, on land and in the air have become much more difficult. This year, the Naval Force of Ukraine trained for Sea Breeze 2017 exercises very thoroughly. This year, we already have a special operation headquarters and a separate headquarters for the commanders in the free play mode. We went to this gradually to understand how everything is different compared to the past years. Free play is the highest system of training units. It allows us to assess how the forces are managed and the degree of the unit's ability to perform these tasks more objectively than it was earlier without the application of this method. In the first week, the units carry out coordination, and in the second week, the relevant operations will be conducted. Since 2014, we have changed the format of Sea Breeze, and Sea Breeze 2017 is the result of our work. This year, a very complicated operation in the free play mode will be held. This operation will become one of the tools for the gradual transition of the naval forces of Ukraine to NATO standards.
Over the many years of Sea Breeze, we have gradually increased the difficulty and complexity of our operations. This year's free play, which will occur next week, will be not revealed to the participants. Only the exercise directors will know what is going to happen. So this will be the most challenging, most tactical, and most realistic practice for warfare that Sea Breeze has ever achieved in previous years.
The training lasts for 2 weeks. Except Ukraine and the United States, other maritime states are involved: Georgia, Italy, Canada, Lithuania, Romania, and Turkey. In total, 16 countries.
We are very grateful for Ukraine for co-hosting Sea Breeze with us, but we could not do it without the contribution of 16 other countries this year.
All the elements and actions of multinational forces were worked out according to NATO standards. So this is the land component. During this phase of the exercise, about 1,000 people and about 100 pieces of equipment were involved. The unit commanded by Major Sikoza has just arrived from the ATO zone, and now the fighters will share the experience of combat in the city with soldiers of the multinational battalion at Sea Breeze 2017.
Сегодня у нас проводится плановое занятие с батальоном. На данном учебном месте мы наблюдали действия.
Today we're conducting a planned lesson with the battalion. At this training site, you observed actions in defense of a building in a populated town. These are instructors of my Marine Corps battalion. For 18 months, we have guarded the town of Shirokino. We guarded it, defended it, and reinforced it. The classes are held with all units of a multinational battalion. We showed how we see it and how one must act in different situations. This is the border service, whose members are our colleagues from different countries.
Непосредственно со всеми подразделениями национального батальона, это и пограничная служба, это и наши коллеги с разных государств.
Although all classes are held according to NATO standards, it is here that the instructors have included elements of combat experience gained in the ATO zone. Also, a platoon of the National Guard held the defense of the building, and the platoon of border guards held practical firing training sessions. Defense was held by a staff platoon directly in the building. According to legend, it was an excursion to Shirokino. One of my platoons guarded the lighthouse. There was a ruined children's camp which was on a hill. Such teachings are very useful. We take something from them, they take something from us.
У меня такой золотой опорный пункт, это был непосредственно разрушенный детский лагерь, который находился на возвышенности. И непосредственно под этим видом мы проводим занятия сейчас здесь. Конечно, такие учения, они очень полезны. Мы что-то перенимаем у них,
Of course, they learned something new, methods of warfare with the Russian Federation. We have learned something from them: planning, organizing, conducting classes, organization of combat training. Marines, bodyguards, soldiers of the National Guard and other military units, together they fulfill the task as a single team. Learning to understand each other with a half chord is their main task. This is about mutual understanding and interaction in different situations.
Вже п'ятий раз проводимо навчання. Вони чим полезні тим, що
We are participating for the fifth time in such exercises. How are they useful? The fact that we show our experience, we develop a common understanding of combat action.
ведення бойових дій. Національна гвардія повинна знати тактику дій Збройних сил, тому що ми безпосередньо
The National Guard must know the tactics of the armed forces because we're a military formation, although with law enforcement functions. But in war, we perform the same functions as the armed forces of Ukraine. We exchange experience with the Marine Corps, carry out the task, and organize interaction in order to successfully perform the combat functions we're assigned.
Організовуємо взаємодію для того, щоб успішно виконувати і мати єдине розуміння ведення бойових дій.
Two unmanned aerial vehicles were launched into the sky. At the command post, military servicemen of the two states work as one team. Drones are used to adjust firing from mortar batteries.
We use the drones for consistent ISR, intelligence surveillance and reconnaissance. So we're able to throw the drone up, the Raven RQ-11B. It has about a 45-minute flight time. And what that allows us to do is to collect on the target, identify where the target is, and then we can give those grid coordinates back to the mortarman, and they can prosecute that target.
Raven RQ-11B is an American development that improved the effectiveness of fire adjustments. The armed forces of Ukraine received 24 units of such complexes.
So we have the RQ-11 Bravo that has the ability to do full motion video with regular camera. It has a thermal camera which has a white hot, black hot setting, and it can fly up to 10,000 feet MSL, mean sea level. And you can see it has pretty good capabilities.
In addition to the supply of this equipment, the American side has trained Ukrainian operators to service these complexes. The military aircraft of Ukraine are currently successfully using the American drones in the ATO zone. Today we tried to use multinational teams. If two operators worked, then one was Ukrainian and the other one was American, and we were quite successful.
We worked with the Ukrainian UAV platoon, and we were training together with our system, just ensuring that we had the same skill set and that good interoperability.
За результатами, як ви могли бачити, спочатку мінометний вогонь вівся на досить великій відстані від цілі, близько 100 метрів, але
According to the results, it was quite clear that the participants were firing at targets 100 meters away. But with the adjustment of our unmanned complex, they managed to successfully hit the target. One mortar was fired, we recorded its coordinates, did special calculations, and entered new input data. Then all mortars were shot. We started firing from all the batteries. After that, the firing became more precise. In short, we successfully fulfilled the assignment using this high-precision complex. Mortar units of two countries, the USA and Ukraine, are working on the field.
Being able to see how these guys work in tandem is amazing. I'm very impressed by how far these guys are hitting the targets and how rapidly these guys are able to get on target.
As the fighters themselves say, communication is not difficult. They are soldiers and military duty is their life and experience. They learn and teach others here.
My impressions of this drill, it's amazing how well these two allies can work together. The interoperability we built while being on Breeze-17 has been amazing. We basically work and we live together, and being able to see how we operate together as a security unit, it really goes a long way.
Це дуже якісні навчання.
This is a very high-quality multinational exercise. Here, different power structures have experience and apply different tactics. These exercises develop a uniform methodology for the training of servicemen and military formations.
Єдина методика підготовки військовослужбовців військових формувань взагалі.
I think Ukraine's been great. They've been warm hosts and they've greeted us well, and can't speak to what will happen in the future, but we would love to come back again in the future if Ukraine would have us. Yep.
Our heroes defend Ukraine, its independence and territorial integrity. The Ukrainian army does everything possible so that the civilian people do not have to take up arms and that all Ukraine does not turn into a reckless shooting range. Let there be peace in the skies over Ukrainian land. See you next time.